All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the new classroom. And as you can guess from looking behind me, I'm literally recording most of what we'll do for the next several weeks from my closet in my house. You can probably pick up on that from all of the shirts behind me that you never see me wear, and my random collection of comic books and the things that I grabbed from my classroom when they gave us 30 minutes to do so. Um, so yeah, this is going to be our new normal for a while. My wife has set up her home office in our bedroom. So welcome to my closet. Um, this video is going to serve as kind of an introduction to what we will do for the next several weeks to all four of my different content areas. And you're probably going to get the same information over and over from other folks. So I've tried to shorten up the info to things specific to what you'll have to worry about with me. But the first thing that you'll probably hear a million times is you need to go to zoom.com and get an account. Zoom is the video conferencing software that a lot of your teachers will use to interact with you during our office hours throughout the day or other times that we will meet with groups of students. So it's super easy. You can create an account by just linking your school email, your school Google account to Zoom and log in that way. There are four things that I want to tell you about what you can expect from me between now and the end of the school year. The first is that everybody is expected to dump work on you by 8 o'clock on Monday morning. That the outlines that have come from the state is that you are expected to not have to do more than 3 hours of work a day, which translates roughly into 30 minutes per class area. And the way that that's been interpreted by our district is that each content area or each teacher that you have will post three 30-minute lessons on Monday, and the goal for you is to work through them at your own pace. So my goal will be by 8 o'clock every Monday morning to have lessons posted in clusters with either an instructional video or an instructional document on Google Classroom. If I get ahead of myself during, my kids taking naps or, everybody in my house asleep at 10 o'clock at night, then I might post more than three 30-minute lessons, but I'll be posting to get ahead. I know that there might be a lot of you who will put your head down and work your tails off to just be done with everything. So one of the things that you want to make sure of is paying attention to the due date for these different assignments, that it will typically be the Sunday after the original date it would have been posted. In terms of things that I am planning on sharing with you all, will be some lectures for the history and government folks. World history, you'll have the interactive notebooks on Google Slides that you're not a big fan of, but I will shorten them down and have some lectures or other things tailored around it. The AP classes, you're going to be Google Doc to death, that, we don't have to be in my classroom for me to tell you to all cheat off of each other's Google Doc. We might do some Flipgrid videos if there's someone who does a concept a little bit better than me, but I'm also going to include links to just some of the random ass videos that I show you all on a regular basis anyway. That way, if you want some extra little humor or things that are hard for me to record while I'm screencasting or live streaming something, that you'll have that there. And then right now the plan is for world history and for forensics to have some project-based elements to what you're doing. And that will definitely be accounted into your 30 minutes of or 90 minutes of contact time with me throughout the week. The second thing that I want to talk to you about that there might be some confusion on is office hours. And we were kind of told two different things today in our building level meeting and then our district-wide secondary education meeting, in terms of what these office hours look like. But basically, from 9:30 to 10:30 every weekday. I belong to you. The way that it was originally described to us by Miss Morrissey is that from 9:30 to 10:30 on each day of the week, we will cluster hours of the class hours of the day together to have you show up in some kind of forum where you can ask some questions. There might be some educational contact time in terms of direct instruction. We can, shoot the breeze. We can update each other on how all of our quarantines are going. But it can be whatever you want. For the students who are taking the AP exam, either if you had me for either of my government classes or if you're some of Mr. Schumann's students who took it in the fall, I will find some peak times where we can work together in terms of reviewing the new AP exam in terms of what they're doing for the at-home essay exam. And really it will be a lot of speculation at first because we won't know until the beginning of April what exactly the exam looks like, but I know I can talk content that you need to brush up on in terms of what they've posted. In terms of if those office hours don't work for you, that is perfectly fine. But there are a couple of things that you might need to know about contacting me outside of that 9:30 to 10. First, my wife is also working from home, that both Johnson County and Douglas County are under those non-essential personnel, like lockdown advisory things, which means we're both working from home, and she and I are trying to stack our hours throughout the day where parenting, homeschooling our own children, and all of those other things don't necessarily trade off with one or both of us having to work at the same time. So it's my goal to be better at digitally communicating with most of you all, getting on emails quicker, texts quicker, tweets quicker. And I will definitely do that, especially during some of the non-peak times where my own children aren't um, consuming everything that I worry about. But my wife's working from home. You all know that I have three very little children who are very demanding and need attention and validation of everything that they do. So if I don't have some kind of mandatory meeting, she's already scheduled sales calls, business meetings, and those kinds of other things. And I will be getting my butt kicked at the 3-on-1 zone defense. So I'll try to answer anything that you all have during those non-office hour times. And I'm sure the more that we do this, the better I'll get at kind of juggling my children and anything that you all need. The afternoons from time to time might also be busy. That we've been told that during the afternoons, 2 to 3 days a week, we will have collaboration Zoom meetings and things either at the building or district level with our content teams or things like that. So I may be tied up for an hour here or there because of other meeting obligations. I will, if it's nap time and I don't have a meeting, I will post if I've got some bonus availability that you all can hop in a chat room and we can talk about anything that you all need to worry about or just talk to other people. The last thing that I want to tell you is that I'm aware that for a lot of my world history and forensics kids, that my room is kind of the center of your universe, that you all spend way too much time on those gross couches um, talking to everybody. And I'm trying to come up with some ways to recreate that social environment, because I know that this quarantine has sucked a bit for me because, aside from talking to other people through these meetings today, the only contact that I've had with other human beings are people who are blood relatives to me, or last week picking up my comics before the world closed. So I'm going to look into some ways where we can, play some games. I know that the world history people are probably bummed that you've lost out on your ability to take turns, that if anybody has suggestions on how we can replicate what we do there, I've looked for some ways that we could find dumb movies to stream and make fun of. That I'm looking for ways for us to kind of find some normalcy in contacting, or chatting or doing whatever with the people that we see on a daily basis. And that's kind of been taken away from us because of, all of these quarantines and things like that. So if you've got any questions between now and then, feel free to reach out to me on Classroom in the Slack feed. If you're in the forensics or world history classes, send me an email, any of those things, and I'll get back to you. Because for everybody who's not in an AP class, y'all's stuff starts next week on Monday. But for the AP people, aside from office hours, you can expect some lessons to start kind of rolling through onto Classroom, and us starting to set up some things here probably by the end of the day on Wednesday. So hopefully you've enjoyed seeing things in my closet, and you'll hear more from me later.